10 out of 10 all across the board. Price written up, you can check the score. See me in real life, they lock jaw. Really am about it, yeah, put it on the floors. Put it in drive like a manicure force. Stacking them racks like a boss, of course. Middle name pressure, that's for sure. Bitch, I'm a dumb at LA North. CEO got a bus in force. Stacking them racks like a boss, of course. Middle name pressure, that's for sure. Bitch, I'm a dumb at LA North. CEO got a bus in. Everything nice, yeah, everything real. Talk to me nice, for real, for real. I don't play that, I've been in my bag, I stay there. I got plans on top of plans, and I do not intend to play fair. I'm going in, that's all I do. Standing on business, that's what I do. Phone blowing up, bands come through. I'm on top again, what's new?
Today's project's going to be replacing some seals and gaskets on this motor. First going to do the rear main seal, and while we're doing that, also get the oil pan gasket replaced. Have both of those to go in, so I'm going to go ahead and get the motor raised up while it's on the hoist here. Get it all cleaned up, at least by where I'm going to be taking it apart, and then start getting after it. Get these all replaced, get the motor ready to go back into the truck, and yeah, start reassembling this thing. I think that should be high enough. Also, before you do any of this, make sure you drain the oil out. Otherwise, it's just going to spew out everywhere. So, clean it up, drain the oil, take the torque converter and flex plate off. Basically, take everything off back there. Put the new seal on. While that's getting done and before it's all back together, do the oil pan gasket, then put it all back together. Start fixing some leaks. I'm going to be cleaning it up with some WD-40 degreaser, a little bristle brush. It should get most of it off. As you can hear, there is chunks of mud and grime falling off this thing. There's just so much dirt. It's cake on this. And next thing I'm going to do is drain the oil. I'll pop the starter off, pull that out of there so that's not in the way. And then we'll start working on the torque converter and the flex plate here. And then the last bolt is up underneath here. And in my case, you got to take leaves and a bunch of garbage out of here to get to it. I'm actually going to see if I can get a socket back here, because getting a wrench in is nearly impossible. But I think with this breather hose here, might also be impossible to get a socket in there. Alright, so after getting the third bolt out that was between the starter and the block, starter just pops out. Obviously I did not unhook all the wiring to the starter, so I'm going to get that removed and then start working on the back here, get all that off. And in case you didn't see, the first part of that oil was straight milk. I don't love the look of that. Oil's still slowly coming out of here, but next is going to be getting the torque converter off, which there is an access panel right on the back here that has two 10mm bolts. Pull that off, and then you'll be able to get to the bolts that hold the torque converter on. With the access panel now off, you can see we have the little port right there. Now just need to turn the motor up here with the breaker bar till the bolts line up. Get all of those removed. I believe there are 6, and that should slide right off. Alright, got the first one lined up. See if you get to see through here. It's a little more light. So there's that check port, and there's the bolt. So you can start getting that out and then start working on the rest. With the torque converter now off, we're going to take the flex plate off. And then there's the flex plate. Yep. I went inside, took a little lunch break, but it's time to get the rest of this off, as well as the oil pan. And we'll start swapping everything out. I'm going to start by popping the 10 mils off the bottom here. I don't know if you can notice how much oil is on here, because it's the oil pan and the rear main that's leaking here. But I'll drop these 4 out. I think that's it on the bottom, and then there's 6 8 mils around the front here that I'll pop out. In case you're wondering why I'm sweating so bad, it is probably close to 100 degrees, if not over 100 degrees in here. But it's got to get done. Might as well just go touch up everything while it's easy to get to. Alright, so that should be everything. Alright, so what I'm thinking, maybe drop the oil pan first. Now allow me to get some leverage to pull this cover off. And there's actually going to be studs through here on the 4th one in. And then up here, right behind the negative line. And those hold the transmission lines on. And yes, I'm terrified this is just going to fall down and get oil everywhere. What I'm going to do, just so this doesn't completely drop out on me, is pop a screw in on both sides with just a little bit of threads. That way it can drop down to there, and then I'll take it down. There it goes. Oil pan's off. I need to get this off. Get the new rear main seal in. Get this back on. Clean off the gasket and gasket maker off the block and off the pan. And get it all back together. I'm going to use this little chisel. Try and get behind this to actually pop it off, because it's stuck on there pretty good. And I don't know why. That should be able to pop this seal out, clean that all up, and get the new one in there. There it is. And then I do have new gasket to go on here. Get all this old one off. Looks like this is in pretty good shape. I'm going to get this all wiped down. Get the new seal pressed in here. Get it all back together. The new rear main seal does need to go in dry, both on the shaft and inside here. So we're going to get this all wiped down, cleaned up. I got all the gasket off. So this can get the rest of the oil. Start getting this back together. So now with this all cleaned up, you're going to take your new seal, and the side with the indent is going to go in towards the crankshaft, and then it comes with this tool to press it in. So this will give you your depth for how far this presses in. You'll just use a hammer to knock these edges until it's all flush and pressed in. So now that that's sitting all flush, we'll take the plastic install tool and get this pressed on. So with the gasket that comes with the kit, you're going to get that covered in black RTV on both sides, get that ready. And the plastic install piece, you're going to have the bigger beveled side facing towards the block. You're going to pop that in like this. And this is going to help keep that seal from folding in on itself. So as we push in, this will actually pop out the back. Like so. I'm going to pull this all the way out. There's no real way to tell if it did seal properly. You only find out when you run it and if it leaks. So ditch that. The 6 bolts that mount this on there, gonna get some blue Loctite. Those get torqued down to 7 foot-pounds. With the rear main all done, I'm going to get the bottom of this all cleaned up of the old gasket, as well as get the oil pan all cleaned up and get the new gasket on there, get this all back together. So, got all the gasket off from under there. Pretty cool. Now just got to finish getting the gasket off of the oil pan and get that back on. It is the next day. So we got that done yesterday. The oil pan is not on yet. That's over here. To be quite honest, it got way too hot in here. But got a little window unit. So helps keep it a little bit cooler in here. I won't sweat to death. So I'm going to finish cleaning up. I got all this all cleaned up underneath. Finish cleaning the gasket off of the oil pan and get this back up there. Now with the oil pan all cleaned off and the old gasket unstuck from it, I'm going to get the new gasket coated in gasket sealer on both sides, get it all, buttoned up against the oil pan, then get it back on the block. So the other side of the gasket is covered in gasket sealer. got it all in place. It's going to move around a little bit while I put gasket sealer on this side. I'll get it all lined up and then get it bolted up to the block. All right, gasket's all covered and lined up. So I'm going to get this up there, get a few bolts in it, and then what I'm going to do is put blue Loctite on all of these and get them all tightened down to 18 foot-pounds. Now that the oil pan's set in place, you're going to take your blue Loctite, coat all the bolts, and then get those in at 18 foot-pounds. Got all the bolts all snugged up. Going to hit it with the torque wrench. Again, that's going to be 18 foot-pounds on all 1,000 bolts that hold the drain pan on. And after you go around once, you're going to want to go around and hit them all, one or two more times, just because as you tighten one side, the rest will start, they get a little bit of room as it sucks up. So going to want to hit them a few times, get them all to 18 foot-pounds. Once everything's all tightened down, you've now completed a rear main seal and an oil pan gasket.